Welcome back to another episode of Soothe Sisters. I'm Nehmat.
And I'm Nanki.
And together we are the Soothe Sisters. So in our last episode, we talked about my personal journey and what led me to get to start this podcast. And today we're going to share my sister Nanki's story. Her story is deeply personal, but also so inspiring. Nanki, shall we begin?
Absolutely, let's dive deep in.
Right, so Nanki, I want to ask you, when you look back, what was that turning point in your life which made you start questioning everything and you started seeing everything so differently?
Right. So I will take you back to June 2024. That is when my life flipped 360 degrees, I hit rock bottom, things changed for me. In June 2024, I lost my husband, my childhood sweetheart. And that is when, things went for a toss. And that is when I started questioning life. Not only did I lose my husband, my partner, things didn't make sense to me. I did not accept the textbook answers that were given to me. Or, just because I was told about things that, oh, this is how it is, this is destiny, this is how things are. I just could not accept those, outdated answers. And I really started digging deep in. Besides my grief and my sorrow, I really wanted answers, to what happens when you die. I mean, you just don't stop existing. Sure, your body physically dies, but where do you go? Like, where does your consciousness go? Where do your memories go? All those questions just got me thinking. And I would say that is when I started digging deeper and I tried to find answers to life from a different lens. That was the turning point in my life, I would say.
Wow, Nanki, that's commendable. I mean, this is the kind of thing that you wouldn't want to be congratulated on or anything. But it is just so inspiring how you thought that you could question, you could come out of your grief. I mean, for a regular person, you would just want to drown in grief. Like if you take my examples, if I'd had to talk about myself in such a situation, I just want to drown in grief and not think about anything else. But it's amazing how you thought of an alternative path in life and you took that route very seriously. And you've been doing so well so far, Nanki. And moving on, Nanki, I also remember you telling me something almost mystical about your research and the answers that you were looking for.
Yeah.
Could you tell us what was that about?
Okay, so that incident still gives me goosebumps. That is how, everything started shifting in that particular moment. What happened was, this is before Cover crossed over, my husband, before he passed away. I was randomly scrolling Instagram and I came across a post. It was about some book called Soul's Plan by Robert Schwartz. So I am not an avid reader. Yeah, right? I mean, you have been an avid reader, but I've never been an avid reader. So books don't, reading books didn't really fascinate me. I would just, flip through the posts or flip through the books, and that was not my cup of tea. So, but anyway, when I saw that post, the title of the book, The Soul's Plan, it really caught my attention. And I just randomly went on Amazon and I ordered that book. And I completely forgot about it, that I had ordered that book, Soul's Plan by Robert Schwartz. So fast forward, when Cover crossed over, and how things settle down after a couple of weeks, after the rituals, the funeral, and things get settled down and you start getting back to a little normalcy, a little back to routine. And that is when I saw that Amazon parcel in my room. And I was like, what is this parcel? I don't remember ordering anything from Amazon. Anyway, I opened that parcel and over there was that book, Soul's Plan by Robert Schwartz. And I was so surprised that, whoa. And I started reading that book and that just flipped the narrative for me. That book talked about soul contracts and pre-birth planning and such. Now, these were the terms I heard for the first time. But they didn't seem alien to me. They made so much sense. They were so logical. Whatever was happening at that point of my life, that book was giving me answers. As if, my higher self had ordered that book for me to read. So that is when my research started beginning. I discussed all this with you.
Right, you did.
Right? And then you introduced me to the work of Dolores Cannon.
Yes.
And that is how I started reading more and more and more. I started reading more about Dolores Cannon and I started listening to whatever YouTube material was there about her or from her work. So that is when, things started shifting for me.
Wow, that is as I said in the beginning, that is so mystical. How would you know that you're going to need something in the future and your future self already has it waiting for you when you actually reach that present moment? If you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
That is pretty crazy. I mean, these are the kind of mysteries and, mystical parts of life that we are so excited to unfold on this podcast, right?
Absolutely.
And Nanki, this is just such a powerful moment, a book helping you through grief. I really want to know, how did this book or these books help you see grief differently?
Well, I will just say that these books or these material, whatever I was reading or listening to, did not take the pain away. The pain stays, that's the nature of grief. The pain will stay forever. But it started making some sense to me, like all from what I figured out, pain, joy, happiness, all these emotions are our soul's plan. They are part of a bigger picture, and this grief was also a part of my soul's plan.
Wow, you think that's what it is, right?
Absolutely. This is what I believe in. This is what I believe in, and this is what I figured out after reading all the research and these research are based on evidence. And this is what I figured out, that all these emotions, they are a part of a bigger plan. That's how these books helped me make sense of what was happening to me.
Right. I mean, books have always been your best friend. If I see from an academic point of view, you've been such a learner back in school.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. You wouldn't think that a book is going to come and, clarify your life's trajectory for you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'm so glad that you found this and it could help you navigate your grief better.
Well, your research as well helped me, because you were the one who introduced me to Dolores's work. Remember how we spoke in the previous episode that you and your friends were reading about Dolores back in your teenage years?
Yes.
So that just made more sense, that I could share my notes with you. I could, whatever I was saying was making sense to you, because you had already witnessed those things before me. And, we could talk about and discuss about what I was saying was not like something woo-woo, or was not something just in my head. I was talking about things based on research and evidence.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one thing I did talk about in my episode too. Having a pre-knowledge of this thing.
Yeah.
Having a sort of an early introduction to these concepts did make it easier to help you get used to this idea of life after that, right?
Absolutely.
So I want to ask you, Nanki, from what point do you think, how did this shift from you navigating your own personal journey to moving on to a point where you wanted to share this journey with others?
Right. The more I read, the more I understood that things are not how they were told to us. There's a different angle to life, which we probably never explored. And I have been exploring because of my grief journey. All this knowledge and all this research has helped me view life in a very different perspective. And I choose to live life more consciously now. Life has humbled me in a way that my compassion has grown so much. And I want to share all this knowledge with other people who are on a similar journey.
Right.
And with this podcast, I want that we create like a safe space, a community where people who are going through a similar journey could come and share what they're feeling, and they don't feel alone. So this is one of the heart and souls behind our work, behind this podcast, that we share our knowledge with people, so that people can also make sense of what's happening from a different perspective.
Yes. That is such an important work that you've taken on yourself. I mean, if the audience that is listening today, I would really like people to check out the ones who have been in their grief journey all by themselves. There's so many answers, and there's so many similar stories and experiences that you could find on Nanki's personal Instagram page. So Nanki, how do you feel about this? How has your community on your Instagram and your grief journey grown ever since you started sharing about it?
I receive so many DMs where people say that, oh, you've given us a voice. Now, by no means I am being a preacher here.
Not a preacher.
Not a preacher.
That's our motto, right? We are not preachers here.
Absolutely. I'm no preacher, no expert. But I'm just voicing what I am going through. And I've connected with so many people who have had a different kind of a loss, not only who've lost their husband, but who've lost a sibling, a parent, or, even a relationship loss.
And even a pet.
Even a pet,
Any grief is grief.
Absolutely. Grief is a common language. It does not differentiate. So I've connected with so many people who say that we feel seen by whatever I say out. I believe that by voicing your opinions or by voicing how you're feeling, you heal yourself and you help other people heal. And also, you come together as a community and talk that whatever is bothering you, healing can be so much effective when done together.
Absolutely. That is, again, a very important message. We heal together. And never forget to be kind.
Yeah.
You don't know what the other person is going through in their life.
Yeah.
Be kind. If you had to sum it up, what is the heart of this podcast for you?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I will say that we all are souls having a human experience. As souls, we are on our unique journeys, yet we all are connected in some way or the other. And whatever we share here, if it resonates or helps even one person out there, I will say that it's worth it.
That's so well said, Nanki, that we are all on our unique experiences, on our unique journeys, but we are still exploring or sharing this journey together. I think that is a really good takeaway from today's talk.
Yeah.
That is such an important message. And on that note, Nanki, I'd really like to thank you for opening your heart and sharing such a personal story with all of us. And it is also a reminder that even in the darkest time, there is guidance, there are signs, and there's always light waiting to be found. And to everyone listening, thank you for joining us for today's episode. In the upcoming episodes, expect some experts and guests which would help us navigate this mystical path together. Until then, keep exploring and stay soothed.
It would mean the world to us if you would subscribe to our channel. And if this video resonated with you, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. See you in the next episode. This is Soothe Sisters signing off.